Welcome to another Explore Everyday Aurora chase. It's November 11th. I never thought I'd do a Aurora intro from in front of my house. And that is looking south as that green arc has been moving continually south even in the last 5 minutes. Just a bit ago it was right over the house. It's already moved even further south. Off to the north, oh my gosh, I can see pillars coming up. Emma's running the light over here. Can you see that, Emma?
I can see it.
There are pillars going up right behind us. We are in a massive solar storm tonight. I'm thinking it's going to be a sleepless night. Starting an Aurora video in the middle of the Twin Cities from my front driveway. I do have a camera stashed out in a nature park about 5 miles away. It was cloudy earlier, so I should have an opening time lapse of the clouds moving off to the east with that Aurora being exposed. It is unbelievable right behind me. Here is to a sleepless night of Aurora chasing. Look at all these cars lined up at Lake Elmo Park Reserve. I have got a camera stashed out in the woods here in a field, but this is crazy. Seems like lately once a year I say this during Aurora chases. I am speechless. Look at these greens over here. This is shooting probably straight east actually. I've got reds straight west. I've got overhead coronas above my head. The north is just raining down with Aurora. This is amazing. I'm still in the Twin Cities. I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna stay here and get all my local shots in that I can think of. Spent a lot of time at home getting the family organized for bed. Took some shots there. I'm back out in my nature park. I was gonna come out and retrieve my time lapse that I left out here, but it's still running. I'm just gonna let it keep going. There's enough different shots that I can take right around here. I'm just gonna let that battery die and we'll see how many images we have. We should be taking about 120 shots an hour. So I'm pushing 300 shots right now. So a nice 15-second time lapse, maybe we'll get up to 20. And I'm really excited because it was cloudy when I started it. Two things that make me a little nervous. It was really windy. One, I know it didn't tip over, but I hope there wasn't camera shake because for whatever reason I convinced myself an 8-second shutter speed is what I needed, which might have been kind of long. So we might have some shake from the wind. And this Aurora is so bright, I might have blown it out with an 8-second shutter. But I might have stopped down to like 2.8 or 3.2. So fingers crossed that that turned out. As you saw at the start of the video, I think the time-lapse turned out fantastic. It ran for about 3 hours and took 1,000 frames. My plan was to get the camera set up before the clouds cleared and to catch the clouds moving off and exposing the Aurora, and it worked out perfectly. But maybe my favorite part of the time-lapse is the Aurora was so bright and colorful, it changed the color of the foreground, both red and green. Just an amazing Aurora display. That 24mm lens I'm using right now, it's not even wide enough to get all the Aurora. I want to say this has been just a crazy photography nature week. I can't even keep track of what I've shot now. So today's Tuesday. On Sunday, I believe I shot the Aurora real close to home. Haven't made that video yet. And yesterday, I was up on the North Shore on Lake Superior shooting the Split Rock Lighthouse lighting to commemorate the anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald sinking. Obviously, I haven't made that video yet. I have this Aurora video now. I have one final fall farewell color video I need to put together. I'm missing another video I've recently shot. I also need to do my 2025 Aurora wrap-up, but I guess we're not wrapping up yet. It is only November 11th. I need to do my storm season wrap-up. I have got a backlog of videos to make, so lots of content coming up on the channel. I just don't know when I'm gonna find time to make it all, but I gotta quit talking. This is kicking off. I gotta start taking some pictures. You may remember last March, I made a Star Trails video out at the same park, and one of my featured compositions was this bluebird house that's closed down for the season now. So I am framing up some Aurora with this bluebird house, and I'm just getting the silhouette of the house against the Aurora, and it has gone completely red. I got to take some pictures. shot that I've got framed up here is a tree that I walk by often on one of my main trails. And I'm shooting south right now. You can see the auroral arc kind of comes down, I don't know, a few degrees off the horizon, but I'm shooting perfectly straight south right now. That's what kind of aurora we're talking about. We're kind of in a lull right now. The BZ is north. So there's just aurora everywhere, but there's really no pillars, no coronas, nothing striking right now. It's just there's aurora everywhere. The sky is a different color. Next, I'm gonna walk to the south side of the tree and shoot north and see what that looks like. This is now looking north, and there's less aurora north than anywhere else in the sky at the moment. So I gotta figure out my next move. The park technically closes at 10. I have stayed in past, and this has a gate, because there's a campground here, but the campground is closed. There's probably gonna be a traffic jam getting out of here. So I would like to get some reflections. So there's some lakes in Woodbury. I can go down the St. Croix River, but it's windy out. So we're not gonna have calm glass on the lakes. So actually, now that I think about it, reflections may not work. So I gotta come up with another plan here, what I'm going to shoot next. I'm gonna stay local. I'd like to maybe go shoot something like over St. Paul, but shooting from the north side of the city to get the skyline is just not ideal, just based on the neighborhoods you're going into, and just there's just not a good skyline view from the north. I mean, I gotta shoot south. So I gotta figure out my next play. I'll probably head out into Afton. There's no need to drive very far tonight. The aurora is super bright when it's out. Like I said earlier, the BZ is north right now, so that will happen in these big substorms. So we'll see if the auroral arc starts moving back north. So I guess I will surprise you where I end up next. In this last image of the picnic pavilion, and the next shot over a pond, you can really see how the red of the aurora reflected on the foreground and gave everything a red tint. You know it's strong aurora when it's changing the color of the landscape. After the substorm receded, I decided to walk about a quarter mile to shoot over another pond. In the southern sky, stretching all the way from the eastern horizon to the western horizon, was a red arc. The arc was removed from the aurora, and I believe it was a SAR arc. What is a SAR arc, you ask? SAR, or stable auroral red, is caused by heat energy draining into the ionosphere, which excites atoms, which then emit a red glow. This was by far the largest SAR arc I've seen. It is time for the 11:30 update, and as you can see over my shoulder, we have a new visitor to the night sky. It looks like about a 40% moon is rising in the northeast right now. So as that gets higher, it's gonna get brighter, and it's not gonna wash out the auroras, they're so strong. But I do have a little video of the aurora dancing around the moon coming up. So I said I'd surprise you last time I left you. I've just been bouncing around. So I ended up going to the campground here where I shot the other part of my night trails video back in March. So I actually have my 20mm Nikon time-lapsing over there. It might be dead now. It was my original battery from earlier. But we had a substorm going on, great reds coming down from the sky. So that was the thought there. And I've just been bouncing around, taking different compositions. Got into some water, so have a couple ponds. Starting to wear down a little bit. We'll see how strong this show keeps going. I got at least another hour or two before I gotta head home and get to bed. So that is kind of the update. That moon is gonna continue to get brighter. We're kind of in another lull right now, so we're gonna have to wait for a substorm. So maybe I'll wait for one more substorm, shoot that, and call it a night. All right, you can see we're back to proper aurora. We're now shooting north, and the auroral arc has receded back further north again. It's about 12:20. The moon's getting pretty high and pretty bright. Obviously, the aurora's still out. You can see it over my head. But I'm gonna call it a night, I think. I've shot a lot of aurora, 2 long time lapses, and this was just the appetizer. There was an X5 somewhat Earth-directed solar flare this morning that is expected to arrive tonight or tomorrow. So there may be a bigger show than this tomorrow. Now, I have not been online, so I don't know what this show was, what this event was, if it made G4, G5. So we'll find out in the morning or later when I get home. But there is potential for G4, G5 tomorrow. The question will be, does that CME hit during the day side here in the US? So that will be the big determining factor of when that X5 CME or partial, whatever hits us, arrives. So I'm gonna wrap. Thank you so much for being here. Another fantastic night out under the stars. It is windy. It's cold, but not too bad. I mean, I have my light jacket on. But a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you in the next Explore Everyday video. And hopefully, since it's now 12:20, it is later today for another Aurora chase. Good night.